So good morning, ma'am. My name is Hamford Cabaluna. I'll be presenting to you my solutions as well as my answer for numbers 5 and 6 in our first problem set assigned for group number 7. So these are the problems that are assigned to me that I chose to answer. Number 5 is the integral of x squared over e to the x times dx. And number 6, the integral of 3 dx over x squared to 4 minus x squared. Now first, let us let us solve for number 5, the integral of x squared dx over e to the x. So this is my solution as well as my answer. But before we proceed, I will discuss further in details how I arrive at my answer. So to get the answer for this equation, for this problem, to solve this easily, I place e to the x upwards. So now the equation becomes the integral of x squared e to the negative x dx. Now to solve for the integration of this equation, I use the method of integration by parts, wherein u will be equal to x squared and du, the derivative of this term is 2x dx. Now dv will be equal to e to the negative x dx, wherein its integration is negative e to the negative x. Now I am using the trick of Layat, or whichever term is can be first easily be simplified. I place that under the I assigned it to u, and the rest will be assigned to dv and v. Now as we proceed, as we remembered that the formula for the integration by parts is u dv, integration of u dv minus equals uv minus the integral of v du, right? Okay, now to follow this formula, this is what will happen in the next line. The integral of x squared over e to the x dx, which is u dv, is now equal to uv, wherein it is x squared negative x squared e to the negative x, or negative e to the negative x x squared. This is uv plus v du 2 to the negative 2e to the negative x times x dx. Now the rule of integration is to place the constant outside the integral sign. So this is it. I place 2 outside. Now what we need to do is to, before we arrive at our final answer, this is now the final answer for this side. To get the final answer is to get the integration of this inside the integral sign. Now as you can see, we could not solve this easily. So we need to perform again another integration by parts method to get the integration of this equation. Now s will be equal to x ds, its derivative is dx is 1, so ds equals dx. dt will be equal to e to the negative e to the negative x, and its integration is negative e to the negative x. So this is the integration by parts substitution method. Now to solve for the integration of this equation, we now proceed here. So the integral of e to the negative x e to the negative x times x dx will now be equal to negative x e to the negative x plus the integral of e to the negative x dx. E to the negative x, the integration is negative e. Now why am I saying, now before I proceed, why is this plus? It should be minus, right? Because the integration of e to the negative x is negative e to the negative x. So negative times positive will be negative times negative will be positive. So that's why this is now plus the integral of e to the negative x dx equals negative x e to the negative x minus e to the negative x plus c. So this is the integration for this equation. Now let's proceed below. Will be now the equation, the integral of x squared dx over e to the x will now be equal to negative e to the negative x times x squared plus 2 times negative e to the negative x times x minus e to the negative x. Now to get the final answer is we need to distribute 2 to each term. Now it becomes negative e to the negative x squared minus 2e to the negative x, positive times negative, and then positive times negative again, minus 2e to the negative x plus c. Now to simplify this becomes, since it's negative x, we can place this again at the denominator. So this becomes negative x squared over e to the x minus 2x over e to the x minus 2x over e to the x plus c. Now since they have all the same denominator, we can place them at one fraction as negative x squared minus 2x minus 2 all over e to the x plus c. So that is the final answer for the number 5 problem. Let's go to the next problem. Integral of 3 over x squared of 4 minus x squared dx. Now this will be my solution, but let us discuss this further in details. Now remember, there is also a rule of integration, a method used when we see a square root of a squared minus u squared. Use the formula sine theta equals u over a. That's why I use sine theta here. And its opposite is cosine theta. So sine theta equals x over 2, u over a, x is u, and a is 2. A, because this is a squared, 4 is a squared, that to get its square root, it's 2. Now, and 2 cosine theta will be equal to the square root of 4 minus x squared. Now x equals 2 sine theta here, and dx will be equal to 2 cosine theta d theta. Now now as you can see, this is what we call the trigonometric substitution. Now we substitute this to this function, these trigonometric identities, these trigonometric terms to this equation. Now the equation becomes 3 times 2 cosine theta d theta all over 2 sine theta x, which is 2 sine theta, square root of 4 x squared, it is 2 sine theta squared. Then it becomes the integral of 3 times 2 cosine theta d theta over 2 sine theta square root of 4 minus 4 sine squared theta. Then now to simplify this, we factor out the common term, which is 4. This becomes integral of 3 times 2 cosine theta d theta all over 2 sine theta, the square root of 4 times 1 minus sine squared theta. As you can see, 1 minus sine squared theta is equal to cosine squared theta. According to the trigonometric identities, cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. Now, this becomes the integral of 3 times 2 cosine theta d theta all over 2 sine theta 2 cosine theta. Now, we have we have the same terms, both numerator and denominator, 2 cosine theta, so we crush them out because they become 1. Now the equation becomes 3 over 2 sine integral of 3 cosine 3 d theta over 2 sine theta. Now 3 halves is a constant, so we place them outside integration, and this what happens here. 3 halves times the integral of 1 d theta times 1 over sine theta. Remember, again, remembering the trigonometric identities, 1 over sine theta times cosecant theta equals 1, right? Here. So 1 over sine theta equals cosecant theta. Now this becomes 3 halves the integral of cosecant theta d theta. As you can see, according to the integral rule, there is a formula that the integration of cosecant theta is the natural log of the absolute value of cosecant theta minus minus cotangent theta. Now, this term becomes 3 halves times the natural log of the absolute value of cosecant theta minus the cotangent theta plus c. Now, since this is still in trigonometric form, we have to return this back to their original. You mean this x, 2x, 4x over 2. Now to restore this back to its original place, we need to perform, we need to use a technique. This is the right triangle technique or the Pythagorean theorem technique, or what do you call that? You use this method. Remember, there's a right triangle, there's theta here. Now, as you can see, I've placed x here at the opposite, 2 at the hypotenuse, and square root of 4 minus x squared at the adjacent. Now, why is this? Remember, in our first, at the first glance of number 6, problem number 6, we assigned that sine theta equals x over 2. If you have remembered, so TOA. So katoa. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Now, sine theta, this is the opposite and this is the hypotenuse. That's why it's here. X, opposite, and 2. Now, to get 4 minus x squared, use the Pythagorean theorem formula, wherein c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now let's say c squared is 2 squared, which is 4, equals, and a becomes x, wherein x becomes x squared plus b squared. Now to get b squared, this becomes b squared equals 4 minus x squared. To get b, this becomes b equals square root of 4 minus x squared. Now this is your adjacent value. Now, using this, you can now substitute here. Now, how can you know that this is cosecant theta? Remember, cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta. Sine theta, as you can see, is equal to x over 2. So 1 over x over 2 is equal to 2 over x. That's why this is the answer. And cotangent theta, remember, it's just is just the opposite of tangent theta, which is tangent theta is sine over cosine, sine theta over cosine theta, right? Now cotangent theta is equal to cosine theta all over sine theta, which is sine theta cosine theta over sine theta, which is cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 4 minus x squared over hypotenuse 2 all over sine theta opposite over hypotenuse x over 2. Crash out 2. This becomes square root of 4 minus x squared over x. Or you can do simply, you reverse the formula for tangent theta, because since cotangent theta is just the opposite of tangent theta, that's why I have the square root of 4 minus x squared over x. Now since we have the same denominators here, so we place them in one fraction. This becomes 3 halves times the natural log of the absolute value of 2 minus the square root of 4 minus x squared all over x plus c. And that is the final answer for number 6. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Wow.